Good morning, students. This is the third video lecture of NMR spectroscopy. Now, up to the second lecture, we covered about the nomenclature, first order NMR spectroscopy, second order NMR spectroscopy, and under both, we also discussed some examples like AX system, AX2 system, AX3 system, A2X3 system, AMX system, AB system, as well as ABC system under both first order and second order. Now the today's topic is simplification of complex NMR spectrum. Simplification of complex NMR spectrum. Simplification. Simplification of complex. This is the topic. Simplification of complex NMR spectrum. Now we discussed about the second order NMR, where when the frequency difference between a sets of coupled proton decreases, then the multiplicity signals get overlapped. The multiplicity signals are come very close to each other and overlapped with each other. Therefore, n+1 rule and simple intensity rules are not applicable to second order spectrum. For example, Cl, CH2, CH2, Br, chlorobromoethane, where a triplet for CH2Cl carbon and again triplet for CH2Br carbon. Now the frequency difference between these two is too small, therefore the two triplets are overlapped. The two triplet signals are overlapped. Now this is second order. Now in the second order spectrum, due to the low frequency difference between a sets of coupled proton, their multiplicity lines in the spectrum are overlapped. Now, when the lines are overlapped, those spectrums are called as a complex NMR. Complex NMR. So, a complex NMR are obtained in second order because of overlapping signal. Now, when the signals multiplicities are overlapped, now the spectrum become complex. The complex NMR spectrums are not useful to study. That is, a complex NMR spectrum does not give any information regarding the molecular structure. That is, we cannot identify the number of signals. We cannot get the number of signals as the signals are overlapped. So that is one difficulty arises, and we cannot get the delta value, that is absorption frequency of each signals separately as the signals are overlapped. That is, the absorption frequency for any signal can be obtained from its midway of the signal, that is a midpoint of the signal. If the signal is symmetrical, we can identify the middle point or midpoint of the signal and interpret, and we can obtain the absorption frequency. Now in the second order NMR spectrum, the multiplicity or intensity of the signals are distorted. There is no symmetrical signals as they are overlapped. So when there is no symmetrical signal, the delta value, to get the delta value, number of signals and the delta value, getting the delta value, that is absorption frequency for each signal, as well as the J value. What is J value? The frequency difference between any two line within one multiplet signal is called as J value, that is coupling constant. When the lines are overlapped in the second order spectrum, it is not possible to get the J value, exact J value. Is it clear? Again, when the frequency difference between the sets of coupled proton is small, their multiplicity signals become overlapped and the spectrum become complex. Where the signals are overlapped, called as complexity or complex nature. So this can be observed in second order spectrum. So second order spectrum, where the signals are overlapped, hence second order spectrums are complex in nature. So with the complex NMR spectroscopy or spectrum, it is not possible to study the exact number of signals, as well as not possible to get the absorption frequency for each set of proton separately, as they are overlapped. Similarly, the J value, the interpretation of J value is also difficult. In brief, the complex NMR spectrum is not useful to study for the molecular structure. Now you see, the molecule, however, consisting of two sets of proton, but its NMR spectrum not clearly indicated there are two signals because the signals are overlapped. So it is difficult to interpret the information regarding the molecular structure in a proper way. Is it clear? Therefore, it is essential to simplify. It is essential to simplify these complex NMR spectrum into a simple NMR spectrum, that is first order NMR spectrum, to get the information. Are you following? When the spectrum is complex, what is complexity? The complexity is that where the signals are overlapped in the spectrum. Now when the spectrum is complex, its interpretation to get the information is difficult. Therefore, essential to be transformed or to be simplified the complex NMR spectrum, that is second order NMR spectrum, into simple NMR spectrum, that is first order spectrum, to get the information. Where we studied in the first order NMR spectrum, where the first order NMR spectrum is very simple, all the signals related to sets of protons are clearly visible in the spectrum, and the multiplicity will be according to n+1 rule. The intensity should be according to Pascal triangle. So whatever the information we require regarding the molecular structure can be obtained from first order NMR spectrum. Therefore, we should transform, we should simplify the second order or complex NMR spectrum into a first order spectrum or a simple NMR spectrum. So that is the topic, simplification of complex NMR spectroscopy or spectrum. Now 4 methods included in your syllabus. One is a double resonance, other one is use of lanthanide shift reagent, the other one is application of NOE method, the last one is increasing field strength. So these are the 4 methods used to simplify the complex NMR into a simple NMR, that is second order into a first order NMR. Now let us study one by one. The first one, the first method for simplification, that is double resonance. That is double resonance. Now, in general, the complexity to the NMR spectrum may be due to the multiplicity signals. Complexity to the NMR spectrum may be due to the multiplicity signals. Example, as we discussed just now, CH2, it's a triplet and triplet. Now, a triplet signal overlapped with another triplet signal. Say for example, this is A proton, this is P proton. Now this is A proton signal, this is B proton signal. Now here the signals are overlapped. This is complex one. This is complex or second order spectrum. Now the complexity, why complexity arised in this case? The complexity may be due to the multiplicity signals. The multiplicity signals in terms due to the spin-spin coupling. Are you following? The complexity may be due to the multiplicity signals. How the multiplicity signals appear? Due to the spin-spin coupling, the coupling of a nuclear spin of one set of proton with its adjacent set of nuclear spin of with its adjacent set. Is it clear? So due to the spin-spin coupling, a multiplicity signals arised. Therefore the multiplicity signals may be overlapped to get a complex NMR spectrum. Now coming to double resonance technique. Now in the double resonance technique, where the coupling interactions between the protons are eliminated, where the coupling interactions whatever existed between the sets of protons get eliminated. Are you following? When the coupling interactions are eliminated, no proton is coupled with any other proton. Therefore each signal appear as a singlet. When each signals appear as a singlet, there is no question of overlapping. Overlapping is observed only in the case of multiplicity signal, that in terms due to spin-spin coupling. Now we are using a technique where it is possible to eliminate the coupling interactions. When we remove the coupling interactions between the sets of proton, every set of proton is unable to couple with its adjacent and therefore appear as a singlet. So when the signals appear as a singlet, there is no question of overlapping multiplets. That is, A proton signal as well as B proton signal, both the signals are appear as a singlet. Say this is A, this is B. For the same molecule, when we apply double resonance technique, this is also called as spin decoupling experiment. Spin decoupling experiment. The double resonance is also called as spin decoupling experiment because the technique involves removal of coupling interactions. Therefore decoupling. The coupling interactions when we remove, there is a decoupling. Therefore the technique is also called as spin decoupling experiment. Now for the same molecule, you observe for the first case without application of the technique. What happens? Two triplet signals are possible and they may overlap. Now when we apply this technique, what is the technique? The technique involves removal of coupling interactions. A is not allowed to couple with B. B is also not allowed to couple with A. What happens? A and B, both the signals are appear as a singlet. When the signals are appear as a singlet, there is no question of overlapping multiplicity. So what happens? In the first case, the first spectrum, where we are unable to identify the number of signals to get the number of sets of protons. Whereas in the second spectrum for the same molecule, with the application of technique, two singlet signals are appear. With this we can identify there are two sets of proton, two signals related to two sets of protons in a molecule. So it gives somewhat information what we need from molecular structure. Is it clear? Now coming to principle of the technique. So now in the double resonance technique, you see what is the principle of double resonance technique. In the double resonance technique, before going to discuss the double resonance technique, let us study how the protons are coupled with each other. For the same molecule, Cl, CH2, CH2, Br, A and B. Now a spin states of CH2Cl, this is lower spin state, this is higher spin state, alpha spin state, beta spin state for CH2Cl proton. Similarly, alpha spin state and beta spin state for CH2Br proton. A situation of spin states for CH2Cl and CH2Br. Alpha, lower spin state is alpha, higher spin state is beta for both CH2Cl and CH2Br. Now let us study how the protons are coupled. Now a lower spin state of CH2Cl is able to couple with higher spin state of CH2Br. Opposite spins are coupled. So lower spin state of CH2Cl coupled with higher spin state of CH2Br. It's adjacent. Similarly, the higher spin state of CH2 coupled with lower spin state of CH2Br, because these two are opposite spins with respect to each other. So the lower spin state of CH2Cl coupled with higher spin state of CH2Br, higher spin state of CH2Cl coupled with lower spin state of CH2Br. Is it clear? In the same way, the CH2Br lower spin state coupled with higher, higher spin state coupled with lower. Is it clear? In brief, the nuclear spin of CH2Cl coupled with CH2Br either in alpha spin state of CH2Br or beta spin state of CH2Br. In the same way, the CH2Br nuclear spin coupled with the CH2Cl nuclear spin either in its alpha or either in its beta spin state. So this is about coupling interactions. Couplings. Are you following? So what happens when we allow to couple? What happens? The two triplets are appear. A proton, B proton, triplet and triplet. It is a complex. Now if this is happen, so in any case, a set of a proton coupled with its adjacent either in its alpha spin state or either in beta spin state, so that a multiplicity signals arise and there may be possibility of overlapping like this. Now coming to double resonance. Now in the double resonance technique, any one of the proton is saturated with a correct frequency. So double resonance technique involved saturation of any one of coupled proton. Either CH2Br is saturated or we can also saturate CH2Cl. So saturating any one of the coupled proton with a correct frequency. So I am going to saturate this CH2Br. Saturation. Is it clear? So when we saturate any one of the coupled proton, what happens? It's a nuclear spin transition. It means the proton which is saturated, its nuclear spin transitions between its alpha and between its beta spin state rapidly increased. Now when we saturate CH2Br proton, the CH2Br proton nuclear spin is rapidly increased between its alpha and beta. The spin transitions are rapidly increased for a saturated proton in either its alpha and beta spin state. Are you following? Now what happens? You see, when the nuclear spins are rapidly increased between alpha beta spin state, the lifetime of that nuclei, that means saturated nuclei, lifetime of saturated nuclei decreases either in alpha or either in beta. When we saturate this CH2Br, its nuclear spin transitions are rapidly increased between alpha and beta, so that the lifetime of nuclei either in alpha or either in beta decreases. The lifetime of a nuclei decreases, and hence the CH2Cl proton, its adjacent, a proton which is saturated, its adjacent, that is CH2Cl proton, is unable to sense. CH2Cl proton is unable to sense the nuclear spin of CH2Br either in alpha or either in beta. Earlier we discussed that CH2Cl coupled with CH2Br either in alpha or either in beta to be appear as a multiplet. But now when we apply double resonance, that is a saturated, any one of the coupled proton, its nuclear spin transitions get rapidly increased between alpha beta, so that the lifetime of a nuclei decreases either in alpha or either in beta state. What happens? The CH2Cl proton is unable to sense the nuclear spin of saturated proton either in alpha or either in beta. Therefore, there is no coupling. Why it is unable to sense? The CH2Cl slowly started to reach to higher spin state of CH2Br. When it reached, it cannot sense the CH2Br nuclear spin in higher spin state because its lifetime decreases. The lifetime of CH2Br decreases, so that the CH2Cl proton cannot sense the nuclear spin of CH2Br either in alpha or either in beta spin state. Therefore, there is no coupling. When there is no coupling, the signal for CH2Cl appear as a singlet. In the same way, a signal for CH2Br is also when CH2Cl is unable to couple with CH2Br. In the same way, CH2Br is also unable to couple with CH2Cl, so that the CH2Br signal is also appear as a singlet. So the two singlet signals are appear for the molecule. This is A, this is B. So it is first order spectrum. You see what happens? The second order NMR spectrums are simplified into first order. How it is simplified? By the process of double resonance, application of double resonance technique. Again, in brief, it is a very simple technique where we can saturate any one of the coupled proton to be increase its spin transition between its alpha beta spin state in order to decrease its lifetime either in alpha or beta. Under that condition, its adjacent proton cannot sense the saturated proton nuclear spin either in alpha or either in beta. Hence there is no coupling. So coupling interactions were eliminated, so that at each set of protons are appear as a singlet. This is called as double resonance. Is it clear? Now, the second method of simplification. Second method for simplification of complex NMR spectrum, use of lanthanide shift reagents. Using lanthanide shift reagents. So we are going to use a lanthanide shift reagents for simplification of complex NMR spectrum into simple NMR, that is first order NMR. Now in this technique, certain beta diketonato complexes of either europium plus 3 ion or praseodymium plus 3 ions were used. Certain reagents. What are the reagents? Beta diketonato complex of europium plus 3 ion or praseodymium plus 3 ion. Now this is the beta diketone. This part is beta diketone. With respect to C double bond O, this carbon is alpha, this carbon is beta. It is a beta diketonato fragment. So beta diketonato complexes of europium plus 3 ion or praseodymium plus 3 ions are used as a reagent for simplification. Now these reagents shifted the absorption frequency values are coupled proton by the large difference. Are you followed? For the simplification, we are using lanthanide shift reagents. What are lanthanide shift reagents? The beta diketonato complexes of europium plus 3 or praseodymium plus 3 ion. These complexes are called as lanthanide complexes, and when we use these complexes are capable to shift the absorption frequency of a coupled proton by the large difference. Therefore the overlapped signals are separated. Overlapped multiplicity signals are separated. For example, this is quartet and this is triplet. Now overlapped, this is the complex spectrum. When we use the lanthanide shift reagents during the recording of NMR spectrum, what happens? These two overlapped multiplicity signals are separated or shifted by large frequency difference. Say this is quartet, this is triplet. Therefore the reagents are called as shift reagents. The reagents are called as lanthanide shift reagents. Are you getting why the reagents are called as shift reagents? These reagents causes a larger frequency shift between the coupled sets of proton to be separate their multiplet signals in the spectrum, hence called as shift reagents. Is it clear? Now in general, there are three different type of shift reagents are available for europium or praseodymium ions. One is say this is, I am going to take it in enolic form. This is beta now enolic form of beta diketone. Fluorine, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 carbons. Fluorine here, fluorine. Now this is 8 carbon chain. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 carbon chain. This is a beta diketonato unit. All are fluorines. Now this is a ligand. It is a ligand, beta diketonato. It is a ligand with a negative charge. This ligand is fluorooctanodionate. Fluorooctanodionate is the name of ligand. Fluorooctanodionate, abbreviated as FOD. Now it is complexed with either europium or praseodymium. Now europium is in the +3 oxidation state, so we can use 3 ligands to coordinate. 3 ligands. This complex is europium FOD complex. europium FOD complex. What is FOD? Fluorooctanodiionate. So this is one of the complex used for simplification. Fluorooctanodiionate ligand complex of europium ion or praseodymium ion can be used. This is one complex. The other complex include again enolic form of beta diketone with two tertiary butyl group, tertiary butyl and tertiary butyl group, complexed with europium 3. Now this is the ligand. Beta diketonato connected with two tertiary butyl group is the ligand. This the name of the ligand is dipivylate. Dipivylium, abbreviated as DPM. DPM, dipivylium. The complex is abbreviated as EU DPM 3. EU DPM 3. So the first one is EU europium FOD complex. The second one is europium DPM complex. What is DPM? Dipivylium, a beta diketone fragment attached with two tertiary butyl groups. So this is another complex can be used for simplification. We will discuss how and what principle involved in the simplification using lanthanide shift reagents. Now the other complex, there are three type of complexes are available. The other complex, now you see, now this is enolic form of beta diketone, enolic form of beta diketone. Now this is trifluoroacetyl group. Now it is coordinated with europium now 3 times. This is another complex. Here this part is beta diketonato part. Now this is a camphor substituted by trifluoroacetyl. Now trifluoroacetyl camphoronate, abbreviated as FACAM. What is FACAM? Fluoroacetyl camphor complex. So the complex is abbreviated as EU-FACAM. So these are the generally used lanthanide shift reagent, that is lanthanide complexes of beta diketonato for simplification. Now let us study what is the principle involved in the simplification using lanthanide shift reagents. Now in general the complexity may be due to low frequency difference between a coupled sets of proton. For example, you take CH3, CH2, 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 CH2OH, N-pentanol. Now a CH3 proton, say this is A proton, B proton, C proton, D proton, E proton, F proton. A appear 1+2 triplet. 1 plus 2 triplet. Now B has 5 adjacents, therefore it is sextet. It is sextet. C has 4 adjacents, therefore quintet. Quintet. D has again 4 adjacent, quintet. I can write below. A has 2 adjacent, triplet. B has 5 adjacent, sextet. C has 4 adjacent, quintet. Is it real? Now D has again 4 adjacent, hence quintet. Quintet. E has 2 adjacent, 3 adjacent, therefore quartet. E quartet. F has only 2 adjacent, therefore triplet. This is the multiplicity for n-pentanol. Now it's a spectrum. Now you can see it's a spectrum. Now first signal, F signal, that is OH signal, triplet separately appear as it is distinct from all other sets. Its triplet separately appear. This is F signal. Now a E signal, quartet, also separately appear as it is directly attached with oxygen. A quartet. This is E quartet. Now coming to A proton. A proton is different from all other sets. Remaining all are CH2 proton. Only one is A proton. So it is somewhat distinct from all other. Hence its triplet is also separately appear. A proton triplet. Now coming to, we have B proton, C proton and D proton. Quintet, quintet, sextet. B, C, D. Now you observe what happens. Now in the n-pentanol spectrum, A is separate or different from all other set because all are CH2, it is CH3, therefore separately appear. Now coming to E, E is directly attached with oxygen and separately appear quartet. OH is also separately appear as a triplet. Now coming to a proton B, that is CH2, proton C and proton D. B, C, D proton, multiplicity sextet, quintet and quintet are overlapped. B signal, C signal, D signals are overlapped and it become complex. It become complex. Because of overlapping, it become complex. Now, why it is overlapped? Why B proton, C proton and D protons are overlapped? Because BCH2, CCH2 and DCH2, these three are looking like similar. CH2, CH2, CH2. B, C, D protons are looking like similar. That is, the chemical environment as well as the magnetic environment. Chemical environment and magnetic environment of the B, C, D protons are nearly identical. Not identical, nearly identical. Are you following? B proton, C proton, D proton signals are overlapped due to low frequency difference between B proton, C proton and D proton. Now, because of low frequency difference between B, C, D, their multiplicities are overlapped and it resulted a complex spectrum. Why complex spectrum is resulted? Due to low frequency difference. Why there is low frequency difference? That is, the chemical or magnetic environment of B proton, C proton, D protons are nearly identical. when the chemical environment or magnetic environment of a sets of protons are nearly identical, their absorption frequencies are nearly identical. In the first semester we studied that the absorption frequency is directly proportional to strength of applied magnetic field. Is it clear? So the strength of applied magnetic field to be applied to the spinning nuclei is directly proportional to the extent of secondary magnetic field available in the nuclei. So that is studied in the first semester. Now here, if magnetic environment or chemical environment of a protons of a sets of protons are nearly identical, then their absorption frequencies are also nearly identical, hence overlapped. So that is the reason. Are you followed? When the frequency difference is less, they are overlapped. Now frequency difference is less for a sets of proton when the protons have nearly identical chemical environment or magnetic environment. Is it clear? Now coming to the application of lanthanide shift reagents. Now here, just now we discussed, because of nearly identical magnetic environment or chemical environment for B, C, D proton, their absorption frequencies are nearly identical and hence overlapped. If we change the magnetic environment of B, C, D proton by large difference, B, C, D proton by large difference, are you followed? For example, before that, now a situation, a B proton has a magnetic environment say 1.0 Tesla, say C proton with 1.1 Tesla, D proton with 1.2 Tesla. Before application of the simplification technique, just now imagine if B proton has the magnetic environment about 1.0 Tesla, C proton has 1.1 Tesla, D proton has 1.2 Tesla. So the magnetic environment of B, C, D protons are nearly identical, 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. They are very close. The magnetic environment is very close to each other. Therefore, the absorption frequencies are also very close, because the absorption frequency is directly proportional to the magnetic environment. Is it clear? When the magnetic environment are nearly identical or very close, the absorption frequencies are also nearly identical, hence overlapped. So this is the situation. Now if we change the magnetic environment of a sets of proton, suppose I am going to change, say this is 1.1, say this is 1.5, say this is 2.0. Initially, imagine initially it is 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, very close to each other. Now if we change the magnetic environment of protons, say after changing, now 1.1, how we can change, I can explain. Now after changing the magnetic environment, what happens? Say 1.1 for B proton, 1.5 for C proton, 2.0 for D proton. Are you followed? Now under this condition, there is a large difference in the magnetic environment. Initially the magnetic environment are very close, the difference is very close, therefore the frequencies are also very close for BCD proton. Now after changing the magnetic environment of those protons, what happens? Say it become 1.1, it become 1.5, this become 2.0. So there is a large difference in the magnetic environment. With respect to that, the absorption frequency, there is a large difference in the absorption frequency. When the magnetic environments are very near, absorption frequencies are also near. When the magnetic environment of a protons are different from each other by the large difference, then the absorption frequencies are also appear with the large difference. Is it clear? Now, the change of magnetic environment by the large difference is achieved using lanthanide shift reagents. So we can change the magnetic environment. Are you followed? Once we can change the magnetic environment of coupled protons, by the large difference, then their absorption frequencies are also shifted by the large difference, so the signals are separated. When the signals are separated, there is no complexity. So how can we change the magnetic environment? So magnetic environment can be changed artificially using lanthanide shift reagents. Let us see how. Now coming to lanthanide shift reagent. Now we have discussed the three complexes. One is europium FOD complex, europium DPM complex, europium FECAM complex, dipivalium complex, fluoroacetyl fluorooctanodionate, and fluoroacetyl camphoronate. These are the three complexes generally used. Now when we add the lanthanide shift reagent to our sample, when we add the lanthanide shift reagents to our sample, what happens? The lanthanide shift reagents acts as a strong Lewis acids. Lanthanide shift reagents acting as a strong Lewis acids, hence capable to coordinate with the polar groups present in the sample molecule. So addition of lanthanide shift reagents to the sample leading to coordination between the sample and a europium ion of the complex, that is CH3, CH2, 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 OH. This is N-pentanol. Earlier we discussed. Now, when we add lanthanide shift reagents to this molecule, that is, through the non-bonding electrons of oxygen, it is coordinated with europium ion, europium plus 3 ion of the complex. Now, are you followed? Now addition of lanthanide, that is, when we add lanthanide shift reagents to our sample, lanthanide shift reagents acting as strong Lewis acids, therefore strongly coordinated with the polar groups present in the sample. So N-pentanol has one OH group which is polar, therefore through its non-bonding electron it coordinated with europium ion of the complex, the three complexes which we earlier studied. We can use any one complex. So this is the coordination. Is it clear? Now the europium ion in the +3 oxidation state, europium ion is existed in the +3 oxidation state. Now in the +3 oxidation state, the europium ion consisting of unpaired electrons. Unpaired electron. Say this is unpaired electron. A europium ion in the +3 oxidation state, it has unpaired electron. Now due to spin, similar to nuclei, the electron get also spun around its vertical axis. Due to spin, it acquires certain amount of magnetic field called as electron magnetic field, secondary magnetic field for electron. Is it clear? A simple way. When we add this complex to the sample, the complex is capable to coordinate with the polar groups of the sample. After that, the europium under +3 oxidation state consisting of unpaired electrons, free electrons. Therefore, when the electron is unpaired, there is a net spin. Due to spin, there is a net spin, that is S is equal to spin quantum number of electron, S is equal to plus or minus half. So due to spin, the electron get acquired certain amount of secondary magnetic field, that is induced magnetic field, called as electron magnetic field. Is it clear? Now the magnetic field produced by the electron, unpaired electron of europium ion, after its coordination, it is transferred the magnetic field produced by unpaired electron of europium ion after coordination with the molecule. This magnetic field is transferred to the protons of the sample. This is the transfer. What is the transfer? The magnetic field produced by unpaired electron of europium ion is transferred through the coordination bond to the sample proton. Sample proton. Now, the transfer of magnetic field from electron to the sample proton is uneven. That means nearby proton to the europium ion get more magnetic field than the proton away from the europium ion. That is, whatever the proton which is very near to europium ion get more magnetic field, that is, more magnetic field is transferred to that than the proton away from the europium ion. Nearby proton get more magnetic field, away proton, the proton which is far away from europium ion get magnetic field, but it is less in extent. Is it clear? Now, you see the consequence. When the magnetic field is transferred unevenly, say we have this is B proton, this is C proton, this is D proton of N-pentanol. You see, D proton is near to europium than C proton and B proton. C is moderately near to europium, B is away from europium, so that the magnetic field is transferred to B proton, D proton, C proton and as well as B proton. To what extent? To in different extent. So the magnetic field is unevenly transferred. So what happened? That leads to what? Change in the magnetic environment of BCD proton. B proton, C proton and D proton, magnetic environment will be changed with a larger difference. Initially what we studied, before the application of lanthanide, before use of lanthanide shift reagents, we observed that there is a nearly identical magnetic environment for B proton, C proton and D proton because of nearly identical chemical environment. Now once we use the lanthanide shift reagent, what happens? Through its coordination, its electron magnetic field will be supplied or transferred to sample proton, more magnetic field to nearby proton and less magnetic field to the proton which is far away from europium or praseodymium, if in case of praseodymium ion. Now you observe, in whatever it may be, you observe between B, C, D proton, D is close to europium, B is away from europium. So whatever it may be, when the magnetic field is transferred to the sample proton unevenly, that leads to change in the magnetic environment of B, change in the magnetic environment C, change in the magnetic environment of D by the large difference. When the magnetic environment is changed with a large difference, the absorption frequency for B proton, for C proton, for D proton get also changes. So this is about the simplification of complex NMR spectrum using lanthanide shift reagents in a simple way. In brief, the complexity to the NMR spectrum may also due to low frequency difference. The low frequency difference in terms due to nearly identical magnetic or chemical environment around the protons. If we change the magnetic environment of proton by the larger difference, then their absorption frequencies are also changes by the larger difference. When there is a large difference between the sets of proton, then the signals are separated, moved far away from each other. The signals, overlapped signals are separated. Now, for the change of the magnetic environment of protons in a sample molecule, we have to use lanthanide shift reagents, where the lanthanide shift reagents acting as a Lewis acids coordinated with the sample molecule through a polar groups present in the sample molecule. After that, the unpaired electron of europium ion under +3 oxidation state produced magnetic field is transferred to sample proton, leading to a larger difference in the magnetic environment of sample proton. Therefore, their absorption frequencies are also shifted by larger difference. So this is the principle involved in the use of lanthanide shift reagents. For example, for the same molecule, you take the spectrum. Now, this is triplet, sextet, quintet, quintet, quartet, triplet. Now, A, B, C, D, E, F. F triplet. F triplet. Now, E quartet, E quartet, D quintet, D quintet, C also quintet, C quintet, B sextet, B sextet, A triplet, A triplet. You observe. Now in this case, B proton signal, C proton signal, D proton signal separately appear. Why? Because there is a larger change in the difference between the magnetic environment between B, C, D proton, use of lanthanide shift reagents. So these reagents can initiate a larger change in the magnetic environment of B proton, C proton and D proton. Therefore, there is a larger change in the absorption frequency. When the absorption frequency difference is more, the signals are separately appeared. So this is about the use of lanthanide shift reagents for the separation of, for the simplification of complex NMR spectrum into a simple NMR spectrum or first order NMR spectrum. Is it clear? Now, we have another two methods. One is nuclear overhazer enhancement technique. The other one is increased field technique. So we have discussed today's class the two simplification techniques. One is double resonance technique. One is use of lanthanide shift reagents. Now, in brief, in the double resonance technique, when we saturate one of the coupled proton with a correct frequency, its nuclear spin transitions increases so that its adjacent proton cannot sense the nuclear spin of saturated proton either in alpha or beta. Hence, there is no coupling and singlets appear. So that is the first method. The second method, where the absorption frequency difference is less, thus multiplicity signals are overlapped, resulted a complex NMR spectrum. So the low frequency difference in terms due to the nearly identical magnetic environment. So we are going to use the lanthanide shift reagent to change the magnetic environment of the sample proton by the larger difference, from nearly identical to the larger difference. When we change the magnetic environment of the sample proton by larger difference, then the frequencies are also changed for a proton. Absorption frequencies are also changed for a proton by the larger difference. Therefore, the signals were separately appeared. So that is the advantage of use of lanthanide shift reagents. These reagents are the reagents can be used in order to change the magnetic environment of sample protons. How? The magnetic environment can be changed by transfer of magnetic field produced by unpaired electron of lanthanide ion through its coordination bond to the sample proton. When the magnetic environment is transferred to the sample proton, leading to the change in the magnetic environment of sample proton by larger difference, that can leads to a separation of absorption frequencies far away from each other. So this is second method of simplification. So we have third method and fourth method. We will discuss in the next lecture. So with this, I conclude today's my lecture. I think you all are well following my video lectures which are sent through a YouTube channel, and you are aware with my notes. So with this I conclude my lecture. Thank you.